Are you watching closely? Whoa, what? Come on. That was essentially magic, man, right? Once you master Octonians, that's the kind of stuff you can do. Wow, okay. If you say so. We'll get right on that. Man, it's really nice to see you again, man. You know, I never realized how much I miss you until I see you. I know what you mean, yeah. And you're doing a great job. Oh. With this task. Yeah, well, I really thought it was odd when you wanted me to do this, you know, out of all people. But, man, I gotta say, it's been so cool seeing everyone and talking to everybody in such length. You know, I don't think I've talked to any of them this long. I mean, except for a few. Oh, I can imagine. Yeah, because, you know, I've always been on the other side of this. You know what I mean? That's why I've just talked to Paul. But to talk with everyone, I mean, it's been so much fun. And I've learned so much. Good. Even about myself. Good. I thought you'd be good at it, you know? And it's time. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Did you want something to drink? I'm good for now. Yeah. Yeah, I thought Paul was going to leave us some stuff, but I skipped lunch. Anyways, I'd asked him to leave some Fig Newtons for us, you know, because they aren't crunchy, you know, because the mic will pick it up. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know. Yeah, he left some fig cookies, but they're not the same. You know, they're like waxy. Anyways, guess it wasn't in the budget. So how'd the test been going? Tests, Milrex. Yeah, they've been great. You know, Paul was just here, man. I love that guy. In fact, we're gonna go hunting this. Well, sort of. And Paul, he's coming. You know, and he's always, you know, the stuff he's involved with. But you know, he goes by Red now. Oh. Yeah, he I guess it's like a trade name or something, and he has like a signature color. I seen him in pictures online. He has these gloves that have this red on it, but it's not red. I mean, it's a red, but when you look at it, it's not something you identify. Oh. Red like an apple or red like a radish? This is why we can't have Fig Newtons. Red like a Fig Newton? No. Fig Newton's a cookie, right? It's not red. And it wasn't in the budget. I can't imagine why. We have to do this. Maybe red like a radish. Maybe a pitaya or a currant. Aha! So 2 fruit, 1 vegetable, and maybe, we're not sure, a cookie Newton. Are we done? Perdón, my friend. ¿Qué es esto? It is intimidating. We're done. So, okay. I know you're wondering why I chose you for this. But we have time. I just want to catch up for a bit first, you know? All right. Yeah, so how is everything? How's everyone? Great. Yeah, everybody's great. And you have kids now, right? Yeah, 2. Has having kids changed you? Well, man, what I wasn't prepared for was how vulnerable kids make you. I mean, you worry about everything constantly. Yeah, I know. So, how's business? Good. You're still selling jewelry, right? Yeah. What do we have next? Aw, a B. You know, B is one of my favorite letters of the alphabet. A lot of people don't know this, but B used to be the first letter back when it was known as the beta bet. BKWFIUS. And I heard the guys were involved somehow, right? They were helping you out? Yeah, they're great. It's amazing! Watch how much value is packed in these charms. Have you ever wanted a faster way to convey to the world everything you like? Paul Collider here. You've heard it before, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. If just one person you meet walks away knowing you like a Chardonnay on the beach, college football, and dragonflies, then these charms have paid for themselves. You get a 1, you get a 2, but that's not all. With just these 2 items, you can make 12 or 21. That means you get 21 numbers for the price of 2. DMTZAYCQE. And that's not all. If you're in a pinch, you can load your shotgun shells with the charms. Now this is what I call charm shot. And there you have it. Now all you gotta do is crimp it shut. Yes, and if you will draw your attention to the posticular, you will notice a letter storci, quite common in the English alphabet.
Just take the D and shove it up your locket.
My friend, I do not understand. Who is going to buy this? It's so tiny. The web? You're going to sell this to spiders? My friend, clearly I am not understanding the basic premise. You are telling me that is a person. There are many peoples in there? Okay. Look there. Okay. I was conceived ready, my friend. 3, 2, 1. Attention, todos los spiders. Now, did Paul do it too? Paul. The black guy. Oh, Paul. Yeah, he did it too. What, no cutaway? Cutaway? Oh, where's all this free speech I've been hearing about? I don't know what you're talking about. Man up, Paul. People up. Stand up for free speech and satire and comedy. Pull up your mauve strappy lace panties and let your baby doll chemise hang down. It's a men's slip and it's prescription. Paul's not a doctor. He has certificates. And there's no such thing as a baby doll chemise. It's one or the other. What am I going to do with me's? You know, I thought some of the guys would be here. I'm not sure why I thought that, but... Oh, really? That would have been much more difficult. I thought, Paul told me he tried calling Paul, but he wasn't home. Who was not home? He wasn't? Who? What? Oh. These chairs are really comfortable. It's my wife. I gotta take this. Of course, yeah. Hi, Tiny Dancer. How you doing? What? Oh, yeah. No, I have no idea. I don't know. I have no idea, baby. This is the first time I'm hearing of it. I don't know. I have no idea, baby. Apologize. For what? For not letting her use telescopes. What? That was 200 years ago and she wasn't even alive. Well, she's upset about it. Okay. Sorry. Maybe you did say it, but I honestly didn't hear you. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, with Dominick. She says hi. Hi. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. See you in a while. I love you. Whew, sorry about that. I always pick up for her and my mom. But yeah, those chairs are great. You can sit forward or reverse. Oh yeah, really comfortable. Did you want something to drink? No. I'm good. I didn't even see you pour anything into it. What is it? Well, this is a bottomless cup. Bottomless cup? Yeah, I can produce any amount of anything you want. No way. How does it work? Can I see it? Yeah, sure. There you go. Okay. It's empty. Just think about what you want. Okay. Whoa. Oh my gosh. Wait a minute. Can I pour this in my cup? Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's so cool. And you got the coolest stuff, man. It's great. Wow. So how's Gray? Recovering Gray? Yeah, she's fine. Yeah. You know she's executed perfectly and quite fragile. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you've told me before. Well, I noticed you had cats. They don't. It's in a separate room. Yeah, door's closed. But I did want to ask you about it. I thought maybe you'd have sold it by now. I didn't even realize I could sell it. I wouldn't even know how to. I mean, I'm not even sure why I even have it, right? I mean, it's your artwork that you
It's
have.
not art.
Well, it looks like a piece of art.
It's a map.
Okay. Yeah. It has to do with root, right? So, okay. I mean, where to start?
How much do your people know about root?
Uh, I don't know for sure. I don't know of anything they know about, but, I can't be 100% sure.
How about the mythologians?
I don't think so. They have mythology, like Greek and Roman mythology, and they think it's made up, just made up stories. And what they know are mostly just made up stories.
Okay.
And I don't know where that begins or where it ends.
Well, it could be based on the mythologians, right? It's quite common.
I don't think so.
Well, it'd be billions of years, right? Very diluted, likely re-envisioned more than once, probably.
Yeah, that's true. But before we get too far into this, I did want to ask you something. But how long have you been here?
Here?
Yeah.
A few months since spring. Yeah. Sorry about the radiation.
Now, you travel through the centers of galaxies, right?
Good memory. Yeah.
So then the center of our Milky Way, what is that?
That's nougat.
No. I mean, how far is that from here?
Oh, okay. Your black hole. I don't know. As time flies, maybe 25, 26K.
26,000 light years.
Yeah, right.
So how do you get here all that way so fast, right? I mean, you'd have to travel faster than the speed of light, right?
Oh, yeah, of course. I brought my Tesla this time. It's a Model 3000. You should see it. Yeah, twice the speed of dark in under 6 seconds.
Speed of dark? That doesn't sound real.
Of course it is. Where does light travel to?
The dark?
Eh? The dark was already there. Already there.
Okay.
Don't worry, Paul. I'm just checking in.
Well, I don't know if that makes me feel any better. I have a family now. And, I know you destroy galaxies.
That was 27 times.
You've destroyed countless galaxies.
No. You are confusing galaxies with solar systems.
Oh, okay. I'm referring to the life in them.
Not all solar systems have life.
The ones you destroy do.
Okay, yes, that's fair. But it's not like I do it out of spite. That was once, and it was my favorite eye.
I'm going to poke your other eye out.
Oh, I'd like to see that. I really would. Dirtling.
You know it's Earthling.
What's the difference?
So you say gray is a map, and this all has to do with with root.
Yeah.
The only thing okay, so I'm going to pull it up here, okay? Whoa. Are you doing this?
Yeah.
How?
We use a millibezo wave to share minds. It's called 5G.
Wow, Paul wasn't kidding. So is 5G, is that the cutting edge, or is there a 6G or a 7G?
There is a 6G. It's the same as 5G, but it is Bluetooth compatible, really. That's like the third Bluetooth joke. Fig Newtons and Bluetooth. Why didn't you get help with the writing?
I don't know what you're talking about.
This is why we can't have nice stuff.
Wow, man. Okay, so this is a mind portal.
Mind portal.
Or, well, whatever. Now, you're not going to find my brain, are you?
No.
You paused.
I was thinking about sneezing.
You don't sneeze.
I've sneezed.
What? You just looked up the definition of sneezed.
No, I didn't.
We're still connected.
Must have been a overzealous voice assistant. Yeah.
So, okay. There's one area on gray. Can we zoom in? Oh, wow. Okay. This is so cool. There's only one area. Yeah. There's only one area that looks like a map, right? That.
The whole thing is a map of one kind or another. But yeah, in a way, this is a representation of your firm.
So, I mean, is this route, is this located in the ocean?
That was not always ocean.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm such an idiot. I can't believe I just realized that. So that's now.
Almost.
It's not exact.
The map as a whole is exact, but the map is not now.
Oh, okay. So there's timing
Of
involved.
course, they call it an expression for a reason.
So then this part, yeah, there. Is this sort of a clock?
It could be seen as a clock, yeah.
Oh man, I would have never thought to look at it that way.
Yeah, ordering is not very accurate to specific locations, so you typically have to do something or rely on other methods.
Like what?
Well, there's a bunch of ways. Like this is not a measurement of time, but of, let's say, timing. So like how a star system, or in this case a plant, like this, how things would take shape at certain points in time. If it's very tight, if it's very specific, you can literally put markings on a plant or markings on time.
They call it a planet here. So markings in time, like events?
Like events.
Yeah, okay, right. So I know some cultures, or maybe most cultures, they had marked the passage of time with events.
Yeah. Have you solved any of the encryptions?
No. So, right. So is that like the ones and zeros, or is that like the hieroglyphs?
Well, I'll say this. I made it easy enough for an advanced ape to solve, but you do need to be clever.
Oh,
That's all I'll say, because it's important that you solve it.
me personally?
Your people.
So someone besides me has to solve this.
Right. And that's why I thought you might have solved this by now. It's important that you find the person that needs to solve it.
So what kind of answer will that person receive?
It's not the full answer. It's just a map, and there is a key.
Oh, right. Do I have the key?
Yeah. It's Marianne.
Oh, okay. Really? Now, I thought Marianne was just a solution to what is a really big problem
could be.
here.
It is, but timing is important. If your people were to have Marianne too soon, they'd likely wipe out the human race here.
How does a solution to... Wait. Are you saying that thing's dangerous enough to destroy mankind, and all you told me to do was store it in a cool, dry place?
Yeah, no. I mean, it's not volatile. It's what it represents. So, Paul, imagine if Elon Musk were to understand that all of your essential science is not only right, but wrong. That your science is holding you back. That in fact, everything is possible.
So I think most people here already think or believe that anything's possible.
Not anything, everything. Do you understand what I'm saying? Marianne is essentially permission, and only the precise should inherit permission.
Permission for what exactly?
Everything. And it's hard to comprehend, and perhaps you are not meant to, but there are reasons why it works this way.
But are we talking...
Your people are on the verge of a golden age. Technology, prosperity. But golden ages are very dangerous. Almost all civilizations end during a golden age. Very much more often than a catastrophe.
Are you talking about AI?
Sure. There are many names it has gone by. AI, progress, compassion is a common one.
Compassion? Civilizations end because of compassion?
Have you ever heard the phrase, the road to hell is paved with good intentions?
Yeah.
It's an ancient expression. And do you know why you know ancient expressions?
Well, it's commonly used in all sorts of...
It has lasted because it is true. Most civilizations never understand their relationship with good and evil. They think they do, but they always do not. If you don't understand the evil and good, you won't make it. If you don't understand the good and evil, you won't make it.
So, is this like a test? Is that what everything's about?
It's not a test for the sake of a test. You're not being tested, but you will be tested. You know, your people we'll have to come to terms with some amazing concepts and facts soon. Amazingly devastating facts and choices. Choices that you won't believe you couldn't see. You won't believe you'll have to try and make.
Well, choices about what?
About precision, about truth. When your tools become precise, they require precision. Without the requirement of precision, life can mesh along, right? Like in a fuzzy abstraction, truth adjacent. But your people are knocking on the door of precision, and you are not prepared.
I don't
You
understand.
never are.
I don't understand what's meant by precision.
For example, subsets of your people may still be, but no longer become.
They die?
No, but because of precision, they will no longer be created. And you won't know how to handle this. It'll seem both right and wrong at the same time. And you'll struggle with how to define humans and rights, needs, desires, and soon after you'll eliminate love.
Will eliminate love? No.
It's always the first to go because it's the most vulnerable. After love falls, everything else goes without a fight. You're going to have to answer, who is the person? Is it they who are yet to be born, who writes on blank pages? Or is it someone who's 16 or 60 or 600? Which choice matters? The one not yet made or the one that seems correct at 20? Precision is a paradox, and most do not survive that paradox.
Don't survive. How do they die?
They destroy themselves. Without love, there is no hope. But it could be a good thing.
Okay, why isn't there love though? I don't get how that's lost.
Okay, so imagine a time when everybody is the same height. Males are 6 foot, females are 5'7". Skin color has very little range, almost none at all. Everyone has good skin, strong bones, same education.
That doesn't sound bad.
Imagine if your wife was difficult to find in a small crowd.
Oh.
Love is our differences. The greater the range, the more that exists across a population. Too great a range, and it becomes flat, but the edges start to curl and cut inward.
Okay, but we're not all the same.
Look, let's say that love comes down to 10 traits. How many of those 10 traits could you tell me that someone today would apply against half a population?
Yeah, okay. Most. 8. Maybe 9.
Right. It used to be very few. The more precise tools become, the more preferences merge.
But people like variety.
Like.
Right. We're talking about love.
Love is the attraction to or display of virtue. Love is entirely dependent on the methodology used to define it. That's why people say there exists a key to a heart. Love is common, abundant. How you find it is more important than you realize.
But, okay. But why would everybody make themselves the same? That seems like an easy solution, right? Just make ourselves different.
Okay, so the choice is the one not yet made.
Like babies.
Right, that is now, right? But your tools are becoming precise. So, excuse me, Mr. and Mrs. Paul, you said you wanted to have a male baby this time? Well, we have 10 of your embryos here. 4 of them are below 5'5", 6 are above, 1 is above 6 foot. Why don't we let Mrs. Paul decide?
Oh.
Like, okay, how tall are you? 5'9"?
5'11". Maybe 5'10". It depends.
It depends on what?
Anyway, okay, but maybe we just wouldn't even check our embryos.
Oh? So you'd be fine if they were born with an eventual disease that was much more easily cured in embryo. Or an extremely difficult struggle they could have just avoided. Is that fair to the 20-year-old? If they could, what would they have chosen at 0?
Okay, well, maybe we wouldn't look at the height then.
Oh? And if everybody else is, if they're all choosing 6 foot, you and your wife are just going to leave the height of your son up to chance. You can see it playing out now in your dating apps. 20% of the men get 80% of the women. Selection informs precision. Precision informs selection. When those tools are available, what, you think 80% of the population is just going to fade away into nothing? Mothers certainly won't allow that. And females drive selection. So when you combine natural selection in a world that has less hardship and more precise tools, that's as close to eugenics as you can get, right? So the equation becomes, are you going to limit what is essentially eugenics to only a third of the population? I don't think so.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. But why wouldn't they just choose to alter the embryo even taller, like 7 feet or 8 feet?
Yeah, that's understood, and that's why it's standardized, to avoid that, because that leads to all sorts of problems, right? Planes and cars and theaters and clothing and all sorts of things.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I don't mean to focus on height, but it's just very easy to understand because the examples are so obvious. Take your basketball. Right now, all you're watching is the best players of the tallest portion of society, which is a very small percentage of the population.
Right.
Mathematically, right now, your professional basketball players might be actually the worst players on earth. But because there is a hard genetic gate to that competition, you'd never know. Instead of competing with 40% of the population, they're competing with just 1%, right? Basketball players are the 1%. And there are tons of examples like this for all major genetic differences. But to get back, you think you will have choices. But in reality, there are no choices because you chose long ago. Your choices led you here, and they're going to carry you to your future, right? So now you already know 8 or 9 of the 10 gated traits of love, which are essentially, right, when it comes down to it, it's selection, because you can love plenty of people, anyone, almost, really. So selection is what dictates everything.
Right.
You are a product of your choices. Is it the 50-year-old's choice? Right? Whose life is it? Who's the person? Is the person a product of 2 people? Their choices?
Okay, but those aren't traits of love, though.
But they are now, right? They are the methodology used to find a particular love. You've already decided. As your tools become precise and as you enter a golden age, no longer indelible is a sacrifice on a long, rocky, cold pass. The more you use your ever more precise tools, the less opportunity you have to rewrite those 10 traits, to even choose differently.
Right. Okay. So before, in the past, there were more interactions, longer, more meaningful interactions. And today it's mostly just like a highlight reel of like just signaling.
It's signaling for the sake of signaling. It's completely false. Fewer and fewer people are thinking about growing old together. Instead, do we look like love right now? Do we sound like love right now? And they are prodded by vultures who want your likes. Like magician's assistants robbing you of your free will. They sell you permission, selling you the sounds and tales of redemption. Through them will you be accepted. Oh, and you'll be accepted for everything you desire.
You're depressing me, man. So when everybody is the same height, so wait. Is everybody the exact same height?
Plus or minus a centibezos.
So is basketball improved or?
Oh, yeah. The gameplay gets much better for a while.
Oh. So are white guys awesome at basketball finally?
Asians are the best players. And remember, skin color starts to converge too, right? So it becomes hard to define.
So what are white or whiter guys, what are they known for? So what are white guys known for?
Yeah, I heard you. Oh, magic. Yeah, whiter guys are really good at magic.
Oh yeah? Really? Awesome.
Oh, well, close-up magic.
Oh, okay. Well, that's pretty cool. So it sounds like there's good and bad.
Well, the further along it goes, the worse it gets. It turns out you don't like watching sports where everybody is within 1% of skill of everybody. You mostly like the outliers. The outliers become increasingly rare until there are none.
I mean, it sounds a little depressing. I mean, or like scary. It reminds me of the uncanny valley, but instead of people, it's like society itself. You know what I mean? Like just precariously between natural and unnatural to the point where I don't think you'd like living in it.
Exactly.
I thought Paul was unsettling.
He's gone, right?
Yeah, I saw him last month, but his mill rec is next week.
Oh, he's coming next week. Okay. You two aren't doing anything together? Like in the future?
The mill rec, but no.
Well, you should probably stay away from him.
Well, I mean, he got me something that I wanted that was from somewhere that's hard to be. But I mean, other than that, we don't normally. I mean, why? Is he not a good influence?
He's. Nobody really knows much about him. Nobody even knows what he looks like, actually. But one of the things he does contract work for the UU.
I didn't even know the UU had contractors.
They don't. It's really kind of a mystery. Yeah, he's even stolen some things from the UU, and it's strange because they know, but they don't do anything about it.
Classic Paul. What did he steal?
Oh, I don't know everything. I mean, I know he took a storage device.
Like a thumb drive?
No, it's actually quite a special type of device. It's very tiny but dense. It can hold billions of universes. It's essentially perpetual. It's powered by a virus. So theoretically, it could persist forever.
And the UU just lets him have it?
And I'm wary of him mostly because I don't know anything about his motives. And, as a Dominick, I have access to a range of weapons that I'm responsible for. I don't want to be the person he steals a weapon from.
Oh, right. Like your flute.
It's not a flute.
It does look and operate exactly like a flute.
Yeah, technically, it looks like a flute and operates like a flute.
And it makes noise.
Yeah, up to 1,500 decibels. That's not a tune you want to hear.
Yeah, that seems like overkill. Now, it's a tool or a weapon?
It can be almost anything. You can move large objects, can create black holes, open wormholes.
Butterfly holes?
Oh, right. Paul was just here. All right, yeah. That's not something you could just Bing here, right?
You mean Google?
You still have a Google here?
Yeah, Google's everywhere. What?
Give Bing a try. You'll thank me later. Hey, what is 74,627 times 22,701?
1,694,107,527. You didn't know that?
Can you rephrase that?
Rephrase what? So, you've been here for a few months?
Yeah, well, recently, yeah.
I thought so. I'd been noticing some odd things. The French Alps.
You know I take baths.
Yeah, but these people, they aren't very good at explaining what they see. They scare very easily.
Why did you suspect it was me? Could have been global warming. But really, how'd you know?
Well, a while back, Paul had told me that you were building an army of ladybugs. And, they picked it up on their radar.
Get out. Look at you guys.
Please tell me it's not a weapon.
It's not a weapon.
Okay. You didn't just say that because I asked you to say it wasn't a weapon, right?
No.
Did you just try to wink with your bad eye?
Right?
Okay. It's not
a Western weapon. Yeah. No, right. Yeah. Of course not. I had water in my ear. I was thinking of sneezing. Ha!
What was that?
Sneeze?
Sneeze.
Yeah.
Good grief. So, getting back to the evil and good and good and evil.
Good and evil, yeah. So it's not something that's well understood when you're developing. It's understood to be something else. There's no word for it, but and this is a bad word for it, but you could say life.
Life.
Yeah. See, all of this is not a state. It's an expression. The expression is purpose. But if you try to observe purpose, it looks exactly like a state you might call life, which is primarily chaotic. You find, if you try to define it, give it parameters, and especially if you try to force those parameters, the more it becomes a state, right? The more it looks like a state. And you'll lose sight of the true nature of reality. So when you start moving away from the path of understanding reality, and it coincides with advances in precision, with a golden age, societies become very brittle.
I feel like you're here for a different reason. How long do we have?
No, Paul. Really. I know how you must think of a Dominick class, but we're here to help. We often fail. We often have to destroy. But it is only to understand your failures. Your people have a chance. Always. Always, Paul. Purpose always has a chance, even up to its final moments.
But we're moving away from the...
Yeah, definitely. And it's like I said earlier, you're upon a golden age. And that makes the state very brittle and the expression very dangerous.
What makes it so dangerous?
During acceleration, it's easy to lose control by assigning control to others. And you are giving others more and more control. And often it's so you can just play games with each other. It's like you want to be submissive ornaments of ink and dye. Look, like how long has it been? 15 billion years and you haven't even found root?
Well, intelligent beings have only been
Right,
here.
okay, hundreds of thousands of years, right? You've departed. But let me ask you a question, Paul. As a representative of such an advanced people, what made you?
You mean like God?
No, a much simpler question. I mean, you're essentially a bag of meat, right?
I'd like to think so, yeah.
What forms you? How do you grow? How are you what you are here today? Where did all this come from?
That's a good question. I mean, we procreate and we eat. We have to eat and drink.
Okay.
And what we eat is also from procreation or plants and seeds.
Yeah, but where does it all come from? How can more and more stuff, animals, you, plants, how can more and more of it be created? From what?
Ultimately. Well, I guess ultimately the ground, right? Food and water. So we all come from food and water?
The ground?
Yeah.
No. Above. You come from above.
So like God.
No, that's not what I'm saying right now.
Okay. So from stardust, right? Aren't we all made from stardust? Is that what you mean?
Well, sure, everything in the universe is made of stardust, but you don't see yourself here, Paul, today, as having been made by a star.
Right. No, I don't.
Okay, so you, people, animals, plants, you're all carbon-based life forms, right? So you are mostly made of carbon. I mean, in terms of physical mass.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. That sounds right.
Okay, take a plant. Where does a plant get its carbon from?
The ground, no?
Above. The atmosphere.
Oh, carbon dioxide, right.
Yeah, so you have CO2, which is a carbon atom bonded to two oxygen atoms.
Right.
So to be simple, a plant essentially breathes in carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, right?
Okay.
And that carbon dioxide comes from above.
Right. And it doesn't get any carbon from the ground.
It does not.
Okay, yeah. That makes sense. I wasn't entirely sure, yeah.
Now, plants also need water, right? In fact, life is mostly water. Where does the water come from that the plants need?
The ground.
Not really, no. Yes, it is on the ground, right? Oceans can't feed people and plants directly. The ocean water evaporates and forms clouds above. Those clouds rain water down on the land. The soil essentially acts like a sponge, right? A substrate to hold water for plants to then later drink through their roots.
Right, but there's also groundwater.
But that got there via above at some point, right? Clouds to mountains, ice, whatever.
Okay, yeah, right.
So we have carbon dioxide and water. That is carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, all from above.
Okay.
Now the plant uses a process called photosynthesis using this raw material from above. And do you know what powers photosynthesis? It's not a trick question.
The sun.
Right. The light from the sun. That light comes from above.
Everything comes from above so far. I've never thought about it that way. I think most people think plants come from the ground. So plants don't get anything from the ground?
Life gets some trace nutrients from the ground, yeah. But again, the soil, the ground is acting more of a convenience than a critical component. Trace elements like nitrogen, for example, but those are ultimately sourced from above. And this is not new knowledge here. I mean, just look at your Hordekai scrolls, right? I mean, those are really, really good as far as scrolls go.
Scrolls, like the Dead Sea Scrolls?
Well, I found those to be a bit derivative, but yeah, scrolls.
So, okay. And so we're the same? We come from above?
Yes. So if you go outside and look up, you are looking at where you came from. You're looking at stars through the atmosphere. That's you.
That seems so strange. We're made from the atmosphere, from the above.
Well, from the advantage of dirtlings,
Earthlings.
everything is from above, right? The entire planet is from somewhere else. You could even say that the soil and rock itself is from above. But life is certainly entirely from above as an expression. But who really understands that?
Yeah, it's not thought of like that. Life, it just kind of comes out of this confusing mess that itself is bound to the earth, and we just forget.
Right. Such a simple fact that you come from above, and nobody appreciates it.
So why aren't we blue then, like the sky? Avatar! I mean, not really, right? Is the sky blue?
The sky is clear. If you were to go up in a balloon over your Ohio to the shore of the infinite and look downwards towards Earth, would Ohio look blue?
In 2016 it didn't.
And you're looking at the same sky.
Yeah, right. But I mean, it looks blue when looking up from the Earth.
Right. And sky is mainly defined as being viewed from the surface of a planet. Not many people realize that caveat, but now if I go out at midnight and look up, will it be blue?
Right. Okay. So, but during the day, right? Why is the sky blue?
So your sun gives off a white light, and white light is comprised of all colors of light. Your atmosphere is full of gases and particulates, which scatters the light given off by the sun. The blue wavelength of light is a particularly short wavelength, and shorter wavelengths are more easily scattered. And your eye picks up the light that is scattered.
Right. So why is the sky blue?
Who's editing this?
Okay, I see. That's actually a really great explanation of why the sky's blue. I feel like, so I understand this, but humans lose sight of even basic things, right? But this understanding that we come from above, or that the sky is or is not blue, why does that bear on us surviving?
So earlier, when I talked about the choices already being made, I focused on what you will be. Same height, same color, same education. That's what your people will be.
Okay.
And we breached that the methodology of selection in a selection-dominant paradigm, as precision increases, preferences consolidate. Precision is based on preferences. Preferences inform precision. And you'll start tolerating less and less of those who don't think like you. So at some point, there becomes a narrow valley of what is acceptable to think and say. You're put into less and less situations of variability, experiences that would normally build a wider array of character.
Like, what do you mean?
Well, like I said earlier, hundreds of years ago, there was a lot more sacrifice. You know, traveling to the other side of a continent with a group, it presented a lot of time to see what people were made of. It presented many opportunities to show your character or to develop your character. The less the earth contained, the more opportunities there were to invent such a large array of expressions over time.
Okay, so now so you're saying that experiences and even jobs and skills will consolidate too?
Yeah.
I can see that.
Over time, this dilutes who you are able to be.
Okay, yeah.
So what you are will be irrelevant, and now who you are will be irrelevant. What do you think happens next?
When we are becomes irrelevant.
Well, no, there is no when. Where you are becomes irrelevant.
Where we are.
When you begin to realize this destination, and as the golden age progresses, some obvious and important concepts will begin to develop. Ultimately, you realize that the solution to everything is where you are.
Where we are. The solution to everything.
So let's back up a bit.
Okay.
What is a robot made of?
Metals, wires,
Okay, more basic than that.
aluminum and plastic.
More basic. Oh, okay, so aluminum. But if instead of aluminum, we made it out of magnesium, or maybe made it out of entirely plastic, would it still be a robot?
Of course.
Okay, so even more basic than aluminum, than specific materials.
Like atoms?
More basic.
Uh,
Electrons, protons, neutrons.
is that all?
Well, yeah, there are subatomics, but essentially. Right. Now, what about a program on a computer that figures things out? Is that a robot?
Like artificial intelligence.
Like machine learning, right. A robot doesn't necessarily need to have mass.
Okay, yeah, it performs a programmed task, yeah.
Yeah, roughly speaking, it performs tasks, right? So that computer and its program, ultimately that's all made of atoms, right? So electrons, protons, neutrons, all the same stuff, just in different quantities.
Like size, more or less mass.
Well, yeah, but mostly more or less electrons and such, creating different elements.
Oh,
so
okay,
forth.
yeah.
So what are you made of?
Atoms.
Right. You were made of the same stuff as that robot or computer program. Like that traditional robot, if you change the metal or go with plastic, it's still a robot, right? And you're all made of the same stuff.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, it just sounds weird.
So then we agree that it's possible that you are a robot.
Yeah, I thought this, I don't know about.
Well, just more advanced perhaps. You're made of the same constituent parts, right?
Yeah, I guess. That's, so we're just advanced robots. Are we artificial intelligence?
Well, that's not what I'm saying, but sure. Are you not artificial intelligence? Would the first version of an artificially intelligent robot not replicate itself and then experiment with modifications or different parts to improve itself?
Yeah.
Is that not your history? Natural selection? You naturally select for favorable features just as an intelligent robot would.
Yeah, I guess, but that's biological evolution, right? I mean, Darwin proved that.
Your Darwin proved that you can provide a simple answer to a simple question. The problem was that the question was simple. It's great at explaining natural selection, but fails at explaining special variation. And mutations, you'd have to twist yourself into knots to explain things like the Cambrian.
So Darwin was wrong?
No, but his observation was applied much too broadly. Look, Paul, just consider what you already know. DNA is information. Nucleotide bases are data because of their specific order, or just as letters in words or words in sentences. Binary, or any code for that matter. DNA is just information, right?
Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, that seems strange to think about it that way.
Okay, let's just say this. After some time, you might come to terms with perhaps there is no difference between you, people, and robots, traditional robots.
For the sake of argument, okay.
And robots are also programs. And all those things are made of the same stuff, the same constituent parts.
Yeah, okay.
And as we've already discussed, what you are is irrelevant, and who you are is irrelevant, and where you are is irrelevant.
So,
What if you can easily solve climate, disease, inequality, resource scarcity, violence, even death,
easily.
all at once,
How?
by just changing where you are?
I'm listening, but I'm not understanding how.
There is a device that not only can store all of you, but store entire universes for each of you. So each of you could have your own universe, filled with life, adventure, everything each of you want. It never dies. It's essentially limitless in possibilities. You can have your family, no family, any family, a different family. You can live on Mars or Erald or in the infinite.
So you're talking about a simulation.
Of sorts. I mean, you don't even know if you're in one now. You don't even know if you're a robot. So, if going into a simulation promises everything, solving everything for everyone, why is that not an answer that is just as good as remaining here, which could already be a simulation? Wouldn't that be attractive, or at very least, be the exact same as all this?
So what about families? I mean, would what we have here can just continue there?
If you want, if you like your family, you can keep your. I thought we weren't making this one political. Look, you can keep your family, but your family might be in a universe of their own, tailored to their own preferences, right? So you can just copy them, and they can destroy their universe or start over anytime they want.
But there's no real personal connections. That seems depressing and sad.
Well, remember, those will soon dissipate anyway. And once they do, once love goes, you're going to ask yourself, why are we going through all these troubles? Right? Sacrifice, disease, loss, depression, work, violence. Why go through them for nothing? You'll start questioning how much of this here, how much is actually real. And look, you can rebuild this universe, experience all those budding connections again, have families, get married, live lives, love if you want to love, suffer if you want to suffer, or have unlimited adventures of your own design.
I guess it's hard to imagine while we still have love, or what we think is love. I mean, if we believe this is real, then it's this is a real trip. Personally, I don't like questioning if this is real. Like where we're headed.
You want to remain ignorant, even though there's a method to end everybody's problems forever?
I don't know, man. It's weird to think about it. I mean, don't we want to solve all our problems? Like, isn't that what we're doing? Isn't that what we're trying to do? I mean, in that sense, it seems like we should, or we would consider it. Or is what we really want to do is to experience problems, right? And watch ourselves solve each one by one, in a very slow and agonizing fashion.
Right. Maybe that's actually the only problem that exists. Maybe that's the meaning of life, deciding how you want to suffer. I posit that even inside a simulation, as real as this experience, where all problems are eliminated, that intelligence might want to not know.
What do you mean, not know what?
Well, perhaps intelligence needs problems. What is the purpose of intelligence if there's nothing to solve? Nothing to think about, ponder, consider, weigh? Maybe it would create a universe, give it some elemental properties, and then wipe its own memory.
Wow.
Maybe when this universe becomes self-aware again, it will start all over as it has for eternity. You have to ask the question, at the point in which you understood reality, would you still want to? Look, 1,000 years from now, nobody will know of anybody you know or have even ever heard of.
We've heard from people 1,000 years ago. I mean, there's the Bible. There's old works. There's stories that were passed. There's hieroglyphs.
Yeah, right. But this age is one of the first to share all information globally, right? Right now is the fewest amount of information there will ever be. 1,000 years from now, there will be 999 years of global knowledge generation and sharing. There will be so much information, so much knowledge, so much entertainment, so many things to do that Winston Churchill, Hitler, Steve Jobs, maybe a footnote in a book that nobody ever reads. None of you will be remembered. All of you are irrelevant.
Man, I'm getting depressed. Is any of this why you're here? Or why was I chosen for this? I mean, I'm not even... So is this actually milestone recordings for the upcoming interval? Or what's going on?
Well, since you've been promoted, I can let you in on a little secret. These mill recs are actually psych evals.
Psych? But what about Jordan?
Jordan Paul?
Yeah, he's a clinical psychologist. I mean, they have to see him before interval anyway.
Yeah.
You know that's what everybody thinks, right? He's psych, and these are just mill recs, right? Logs.
Yeah, we know.
So it's reverse?
No, psych with Jordan, that's only for them to think that that's a psych eval. The mere act of observing them will change their behavior. If they understand it's a psych eval, we're not likely to get accurate results, right? You cheat on a test because you know you're taking a test. But it's extremely difficult to hide inauthenticity in a long conversation, especially if you think you've already took the test.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see that. So Milrex are psych.
Right.
And you're just here to observe.
I'm still in default. Yeah, like I told you. Don't worry so much, Paul.
You say you're in default, Dominick class, but you've been here. I mean, well, you've been here multiple times, right? I mean, you've been here periodically for thousands of years.
Millions.
To Earth.
Yeah, well, way back when this was a forward operating base. In fact, Earth holds a special place in my heart, not just because I was stationed here in the local, but because I actually lost my favorite car here.
Your favorite car? It got jacked?
Well, not really. See, this solar system, and this was hundreds of millions of years ago, but because all your planets are so differentiated, it makes for a great place to park your car. Very easy to find where you parked.
By car, you mean ship?
Yeah.
And you're sure it's Earth after all this time?
Oh, yeah, I know for sure. I just heard one of your people describe it.
What?
Yeah, that guy, Bob Lazar.
Bob Lazar?
Yeah, that dude stole my car.
Bob Lazar stole your car?
Well, I don't know how he came upon it, but he had it. He described it to a T. Right down to the penis ornament I had on it.
No, wait. You're talking about the interview on Rogan, right? I saw that. He said the ship on top had a thing sticking out that was for the gravity drive, like a wave guide.
Wave guide? Wave guide.
That's what he said.
Why? No. Well, no. What? That's from Bogdong 6. It's a phallic galaxy. If you've ever been there, everybody that goes there, you get a penis ornament. It's a thing, Popular.
Oh, okay. So like the gas station balls we used to put on our car antennas. Whatever happened to all that?
And you can't get them anymore because Bogdong 6 was swallowed by a black hole. If I had that ornament, it would be worth quite a bit right now.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Raining bezos all over us.
So now, doesn't the fact that we found your ship sort of affect the observation of us?
No, those things happen. I've interacted with quite a few people on Earth over time. If they don't know who I am, and if I'm not giving them anything forbidden, it's, it's normal for us.
Okay, so you've met others here, not just Paul.
Oh, yeah. It's important that we observe significant events or people.
So who have you met that we know?
Well, I don't know how important people are to you from here, from your perspective. So I'm not sure. Do you know Popeye?
Popeye. Popeye was a person?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
How strong was he?
Strong? Not really.
Really? Oh, for you, you mean?
No.
But he had huge muscles. I mean, his arms were like...
No. No, that guy ate a bunch of spinach, right? Spinach is extremely high in oxalates.
Oxalates.
Yeah, those weren't muscles in his arms. Those were metastasized kidney stones.
What?
Yeah, that guy was essentially a solid kidney stone. Died a horrible, horrible death.
Ooh. Why were you observing him?
Well, no, not so much him. He was out on the seas, and this was a time when everybody still thought the Earth was round.
Oh, God, not this again. Let's skip this. Who else?
Well, it was Montezuma.
Montezuma, the Aztec.
Yeah. Oh, man, that guy loved to get his spear on.
Yeah, I know. Why were you there?
Well, you are aware that 20% of the population should be...
Oh, God, are you kidding? So Paul isn't crazy? We need to skip this, too. Man, this is, like, upsetting.
Okay, but I just want to add, Montezuma, very nice. Great conversationalist. And he liked elephants.
I like elephants.
He was quite a character. I remember this one time, he had just removed the hearts out of 10,000 sacrifices, right? And I turned to him, I said, Mani, what was the point of all this? And I looked up and I said, the clouds cover the sky. Your gods can't see you. And he looks to me without skipping a beat and says, long weekend, right? So, do you get it? So the Aztec, you know what the Aztec calendar is?
No.
Weekend. Well, so at that time, I guess you had to be there.
I'd love to go to then, but that's not possible, right?
Sure, why not?
Okay, so I can get 6 of my friends.
5.
But that would be 7.
And me.
Oh, right, yeah. So I have to get rid of somebody or find 3 more.
Right.
That would be really cool. Yeah. So who else have you met that I would have heard of?
Let's see. There was Alex and GK.
GK.
Genghis Khan.
You went by GK?
Or Genny, yeah.
And Alexander the Great, is that?
Right.
So wait. So you know where the Library of Alexandria is?
Yeah. Well, so Al named many cities Alexandria. And the accumulation of knowledge was not a priority until after him. But yeah, I was around.
So where is it?
I can't.
Is that part of Gray?
Alexandria has some of the most direct evidence of root, and the mythologians.
Really?
Yeah, it's not a surprise it was lost. Well,
so
if you found it, the information it contains could very well destroy your society.
Well, that's what I mean.
The right person has to find all of this.
So the answer is at Alexandria, and Gray gets you to Alexandria.
No. First, you mean the library contents, not Alexandria itself.
Yeah, right.
Gray will get you to root. You could also get to root with some of the contents of the Library of Alexandria. That's why I gave you the ability to create Gray, because I knew the library was lost. So in a way, it's a backup.
Oh. Okay, so earlier you said the Earth used to be a base, right? Was that for root, or what was that for?
A forward operating base. Root is aboriginal, right? We don't install it. We seek out plants that have it, we nurture it and protect it. But that was all before me. What I'm talking about, well, when I was here, the first time when this was an FOB, that was a billion years ago, 900 million years ago.
You think there's evidence of that still here that we can find? Or maybe that we've found, like your car, your ship?
No, I doubt it.
How do you know?
Well, in default, we're pretty good at covering our tracks. My ship, those are not uncommon to lose, or to leave in inconvenient places because we take them everywhere. But our major structures, like that which were here on Earth, we put them just offshore near what you call subduction zones. If something were to happen, if we needed to abandon everything, it would fail and fall and get swallowed by the planet and dissolve.
Oh, man, that's smart. That's really smart. I would have never thought of that.
Yeah. Once you've been chased by a Tyrannosaurus Rex that learned how to use a laser wand, you learn your lessons pretty quickly.
I bet.
Our technology and influence is antithetical to the purpose of Root, but we make mistakes. Now, take, for example, my ship, which you guys have.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
We generally have FOBs on planets that have only one satellite, your moon.
Why is that?
Well, planets with one moon are typically planets that don't harbor intelligent life.
Really?
Yeah. Because two-nippled beings are almost always of very low intelligence.
Wait. Two nibbles?
So, okay. The rule is a planet's most intelligent form of life will have twice as many nipples as it does moons.
What? Come on.
Yeah. And we know that, right? It's been confirmed in quantum nipplery. So for Earth, that would have been two nipples, one moon, two nipples. And we all know dual nipple beings are low intelligence.
Wait. You're saying that... Wait. So if a planet has two moons, the smartest life form on it will eventually be a four-nippled being.
Right, quads, yeah. So we use single moon planets for FOBs because in the off chance that we do lose something like a ship, it's such a thing that dualies wouldn't be able to figure out, probably not even be able to get into.
Dualies?
Yeah, dualies, quads, shamanies.
But we're intelligent.
Oh yeah, right. And that's why we have so much interest in you, right? And why all this is. Places like this are considered big successes of Root, in the mythologians. And we seek to find out why.
So, I think this makes sense to ask. Why would Root be put on a planet with one moon?
It's not. No. So, and you wouldn't know this. Root was an entity that was destroyed in the beginning. And its diaspora was scattered throughout the infinite. Parts of it would randomly, congeal or get caught up with the gravity of forming planets. And that's how it gets there. And that's how it got here.
Oh, okay. I see.
And we look for them, all the pieces, and then we see that they fulfill their destiny.
And Gray is a part of this.
Yes. Yeah. It's one of the ways to it.
So you've seen a lot of our history. Wait. Before I ask that, do you talk to the other Pauls?
Yeah, sometimes. By float.
Oh, okay. So you don't go there. You just
I find floating for them is most efficient, Yeah, you've never done it?
Yeah, I floated. I have a float tank in my basement. Yeah. I love it. It's great. But I was never told how I can communicate with you.
Well, I like visiting you, Paul.
I like having you here too. But so wait a minute. Can I communicate with the other Pauls by floating?
Oh yeah, of course.
How comes I don't know this?
I think the others...
Most of them seem standoffish with me, which is why I was so surprised when you asked me to do this.
Yeah. I think they think I favor you. Gray and Marianne. And I think they think it's safer to just not risk upsetting you. As if I would harbor disdain for any of them.
Well, you did warn me of Paul.
Yeah. He's very different. I mean, you've talked to him. Doesn't he sound dangerous?
Heck yeah, he scares the hell out of me. But he's always been nice to me. Very nice, actually.
Yeah. He's hard to figure out. part of me doesn't even want to figure him out. The scariest thing about Paul, and what makes him similar to Paul, is that he doesn't have an ego. He doesn't need attribution. Both of them don't, right? Both of them don't. But with Paul, he's transparent to me. I can see his motives. But Paul, he's opaque to everyone. He set some of the longest expressions in motion that I've seen from a Paul, right? He makes Dantes look impatient, even Job. He never tells anybody what he's doing. He never takes credit, as far as I know. He doesn't answer to anybody. So none of us really know if he's good or bad, or you can't define him, right? So he truly stands apart. I don't like the fact that you don't know much about him. Now, did he ask you about Gray or Marianne? I don't, very little. I think he did ask about Marianne. I keep an eye on him. And, he's been on Rogan and Rubin, where you'd think his guard would come down, but it never does. Oh, yeah, that's right. I love those guys. Have you met Dave and Joe? No. Oh, man, they're great. Yeah, I was trying to talk Joe into going extreme hunting with me, but he won't. Wrong character. Yeah, good dudes. Okay, so earlier you had mentioned the relationship of good and evil, and that we don't understand it. Is this key to our future? Does that have anything to do with Gray or finding our way? The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Yeah. But why is that? Or how should that be relevant to right now? I mean, how important is that? Because, to be honest, that's just a saying, that's something we say. I doubt most people don't even really think is that meaningful. Describe something to me that you think is a little evil. Something that a normal person might do in a situation that shows evil. Not some army or government, a regular person, right? That shows a degree of evil. Not a serial killer, a regular person. Well, that's hard. Don't overthink it. It's easier than you think. Just something that has happened recently, too. Don't pull something out of 500 years ago. Okay. So recently, there was a hurricane, and someone was selling a case of bottled water for $40 when it was actually, just like actually $5. That is greed, but also evil because the people that need it are in a bad situation. Okay, that's a good example. So you are an employee of a store. You have 10 cases of water, and you said they were $5 each, right? Yeah. So I show up. How much is a case of water? $5. Okay, here's $50. Thank you. 15 minutes passes by. Another guy comes up. Hey, man, my wife and newborn are at my house. Boy, we're in a bad way. We need some water. Do you have any? Okay, no. Okay, fine. So we ration 1 case per person. Okay, is that legal? I don't know. Let's say I don't care. Okay, you have 10 cases of water, and I pull up. Hey, here's $50 for those 10 cases of water. Sorry, 1 case per person. What? Are you kidding? Man, I have a wife and 4 kids, and both neighbors on either side of me are in their 80s. They can't make it here. My wife and some 80-year-olds, they can't make it here. What the hell are you thinking? We're in distress. Okay. 2 cases for you and 1 case for each of your neighbors. Okay, you have 10 cases of water, and I pull up. Hey, man, wow, you are a savior. I need some water for me and my family. And my in-laws showed up in distress, of course, right? And I live across from Blue Acorn Retirement Home, up on Maple. Man, all those people were abandoned. Only 1 nurse stayed behind to help them all. These 10 cases are going to go to good use. Do you have any more? It's only 1 case per person, man.
I can maybe give you 2.
What? Are you serious? There's 24 elderly people up there and a nurse in my family. Are you being serious right now? Oh, I'm going to record this so I can show the world who's responsible for letting all those people die. All those elderly people suffer and die.
Well, okay. Do you have proof?
Proof? What proof? I can't bring dozens of elderly people through this flooding. Are you kidding?
Well, do you have their driver's licenses or something?
Driver's licenses? Driver's licenses. Are you kidding me right now? Do you hear yourself? I can't wait for the world to see what kind of person you are.
Okay. I got it. Okay. I get. You could be lying.
Yeah, of course. But there's no way for the person selling the water to know either way. The problem is when people are in a fast-moving, unpredictable situation, they tend to overestimate what they need, and they panic. The last thing on their mind is rationing.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
So it's more of, if I only get 2 cases of water, what if my wife's brother's family shows up, right? Because they're idiots. They might show up and they have kids. Or what if I drop one of the cases, making my way back through the floodwaters?
I can see that.
So during uncommon scenarios, and if you add panic, people become selfish and irrational. If they're getting supplies for their family in a situation where they might not know if they have another chance to get supplies.
Okay, so where does hiking the price come in?
If you hike the price, it forces people to evaluate their needs more logically. People cool their jets a bit. If they have pause, they give themselves a chance to inject rationality into the unfolding situation, right? They say, you know what? I've been through hurricanes before. You know what? This hurricane doesn't seem any worse. It's localized. Help is not preoccupied with 5 other hurricanes.
Right.
So maybe I really only need 1 case. But I'll spend $80 and get 2 cases, just in case.
So you're saying that raising the price is to force people to ration. And this rationing allows others who show up later to also be able to buy water.
Yeah, because look, if I was there, I'd give you 50 for all 10 cases. I'm not even going to think twice about it. My priority is my wife and my kids and my newborn. And I know if someone, like our neighbors, sees me with water, they're going to be asking for water. If I tell them no, that puts me in a situation, right? Maybe they want to force it from me. So the more I have, the safer I am in many respects.
So the person buying it would share it with others, so that's good.
Well, and they don't know that. None of that can unfold. But the point is that they don't know. The person buying the water doesn't know, and the person selling the water doesn't know.
What about $5 for the first one and $20 for each subsequent case of water?
Yeah, sure, but now you're in a situation where you have to remember if that guy or this girl showed up earlier and got one for $5. Are they just going around the corner, putting on a hat and a jacket and waiting an hour?
I suppose people could do that, yeah.
What if a guy and his 3 sons show up? Do they get 4 cases? One for each of them for $5?
It's per family.
So now you're determining who a family is? So what if they act like they aren't a family and show up a few minutes apart from each other?
I don't know, man.
Exactly. Maybe you can come up with a rationing scheme, right? But that rationing scheme needs to be taught before the disaster. It needs to be agreed upon, and the rules need to be disseminated before a disaster. And it will take time for people to know it, right? Because disasters are so rare. People drive every day, and they sure don't seem to know the speed limit, right?
Yeah. Okay. I get what you're saying.
The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Every solution you propose has both good and evil in it. Every solution. What is corrosive is when people look back at what happened and only recognize the evil. Like what you did with the price hike of water. You felt it came down to greed or evil.
Well, maybe, yeah.
Let's say you enforced rationing, but then later it turns out there was a retirement home and people did die. People will look back at you and say, you were heartless. You were responsible. And what were you going to say? You were just following orders?
Yeah, that's true.
Or maybe you sold all 10 cases at $5 to somebody. As business is normal, right? Then you see how many people died because they didn't have clean water. And you think, man, should I have not have sold those for $5? Are you part of the problem? The problem today is one you choose to have. It used to be you'd look back and you'd see good and evil. Today you look back and see good or evil. What you see now is not determined by fact, but determined by who you want others to think you are.
So, what can we do? How can we do better?
The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Everything has both good and evil.
Not everything.
I'm not talking about the ill.
Okay.
Look, when a person has a plan or an idea that they want to apply to many people, they want to force many people to do something, that person should offer up what is good about the plan and what is evil about the plan.
I don't think people think they're being evil.
Right, and by evil, it could mean bad or negative.
I don't even think those are equivalent, though. I mean, evil implies intent.
Long after nuance is abandoned, your descendants will see bad and negative as evil. To make the right decisions today, you must also see it as evil. Seeing it as simply a bad artifact or an unimportant aberration will ensure it doesn't last.
Huh. That seems like what's going on right now.
Bad is in good, and you are not allowing it to be. You are rejecting the bad and good.
It seems like we should push back on the bad parts of good, right? I mean, that seems obvious.
Only if you believe there is an answer that is comprised solely of good. Remember, most solutions were built with solely good intentions. There is no good without evil.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I don't think you understand it. Most people think that refers to a juxtaposition. You can't recognize good without evil. But it's more than that. There is always evil and good. There is always good and evil. These are not two sides of the same coin. They are both on both sides of the coin. They are one and the same. When people truly believe that a solution is only good and they're willing to spend all your resources to get it, that is truly what is dangerous. People that are unwilling to recognize the bad in their good and are willing to stop at nothing to achieve it, those are the horrors you look back on today. All of you were given the tools to save yourselves.
What can we do?
Am I just talking to myself?
Well, what can I do?
Depends what you want. If you want to save love, then you probably need to destroy all of your power grids. You need to take a step back to be able to appreciate what you're losing. And I've given you the power to do that. If you just want to try and salvage as much of society as possible, perhaps go back a step with just a portion of society, survive until you can be stateless, then you can arm them by helping them understand themselves.
I can? I try to help people, but they don't listen to me. They say it's none of my businesses.
What? All these people here on Earth, they think they know themselves better than you do.
Thank you.
Have real conversations with each other. Deep conversations. Like when Paul lent his studio out to those two pundits.
I'm glad Paul let us use this space, to get together and talk. I'm hoping, we can clear some things up between us.
Yeah, me too. I think we have a lot more in common than we realize. I remember when we used to talk to each other all the time, just like normal people. And we agreed on a lot of stuff. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
But it's been a while, right? I think the last time we agreed on something was that movie we saw. We both liked it, The Hangover.
Well, the book was better. But I seem to remember us both not being very keen on Hillary.
Lock her up.
Yeah, but that too got a little contentious at times. Really? How big?
It was about this big.
You're a white supremacist.
What? No.
That's what that hand sign means.
No. Good. Okay, it's like this big.
Oh, you're an anti-Semite.
No. It's like this.
Homophobe.
What? What? No. No. You're overreacting.
Oh, it's my fault that you're a white nationalist.
Wait, what? Where did that even come from? You asked the size. Okay, wait, hold on. It's this size.
Capitalist.
Oh, you're being ridiculous.
That's YOU''RE, not YOUR.
Yeah, well, that's to be expected when the perception of two sides exist, especially when it comes to politics. Look, my point is that Bernie, at some point in time, praised the Soviet Union, and at some point in time, praised Venezuela. I don't care if he updated it to Denmark. The simple fact is that he was unable to recognize Soviet Russia and Chavez's Venezuela as being bad while they appeared good. He's proven time and time again that he's unable to recognize what is at the moment, right? And therefore unable to create a long-term working system. I mean, are you going to elect hindsight or foresight?
Well, first of all, I never said Venezuela as a system looked good, right? I never praised it.
Yeah, you did. I remember it was you and I remember you had just seen one of the Iron Mans, and you'd brought up what I think was a recent episode of a TV show. Parks and Rec, I think it was. It was subtly praising the benefits of socialism in Venezuela.
No, I don't remember that at all. I've never claimed Venezuela was the good type of socialism.
Bro, Venezuela has got it all figured out, man. They're living the American dream down there. Seriously. Just ask my bro Bernie or Sean.
I don't know, man.
Everyone in Venezuela is prospering so much. There's a little dictatorship, so what? Don't sweat the little details. It's a tiny issue. You could just replace the dictator with a socialist like Bernie, and then it's all kittens and cotton candy, man. Hasn't the world suffered enough because of Marx?
Oh, and he was from such a nice family.
Paul, context. And your character isn't even aware of the cutaways. Let's take this from especially in politics.
Belay that order. Return.
No. Okay, duh. Ask yourself, would Hollywood and the superstars of Parks and Rec, would they paint a horrible system that implements terrible policies for its people? Would they risk making any of that looking even a teensy bit like a good idea if they weren't smart and sure and confident themselves? Look. Are you saying Sean Penn can't recognize sound economic policy? Really? Sean Penn, do you hear yourself? I don't even know who you are anymore, man. I mean, sure, it could all fall apart 100 years from now. And Parks and Rec, they mentioned there were some small little fringe negatives about other parts of their government. But nothing's perfect, right? I mean, right? Venezuelans love it. They have everything they need. And that's what counts, right? I mean, you can't deny that. Mark my words. In 10 years, Americans will be moving to Venezuela in caravans. Did you see the video with the panda that has the... Are we back? Do we have more lines? This is why we can't have nice stuff.
The road to hell is paved with good intentions.
The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Think about how that concept has survived all this time. I've seen all of you. I've witnessed your intentions move from sound to ink to silver and now to light. I've never envied your people. After all the time that has passed, and you still face fearful odds, submit. Accept entanglement. Understand that you live within each other. Your souls, all souls, they're fractal, recursive, of which is eternal, sows the infinite. Speak the true true, not your truth, not Karen's truth, the true of the soul, the story of a singular battle against an ancient enemy, the endless battle of self. Napoleon's wife, Marie Louise, once said something to me that I hold close.
Wow, you're going to quote Napoleon's wife and not Napoleon right now?
Marie Louise was an incredibly wise woman. She is often unwittingly quoted even today. In fact, she's best known for her Be Kind Rewind campaign. Back when loomers were done, they would just leave the loom all unwound. But from her, it became commonplace to rewind the loom so it's ready for the next person, right? The next shift.
Really?
But one thing she said to me that I still hold dear: forgive everyone, forsake prejudice, and for heaven's sake, face the evil in your goodness.